Hi, so this is my bioethics for dummies life extension presentation. So let's begin. The definition of life extension is the concept of extending the human lifespan. The sub-definition, I believe, is life extension, which is continued existence, which leads to more accomplishments, then a shift in family dynamics, and then the growth of risk aversion and stasis. So here are some advantages to life extension. Being able to continue your life would be the greatest benefit to the individual. Life extension gives people the opportunity to accomplish far more than they can with average lifespans. People could pursue multiple careers and multi-year personal projects and could reliably accumulate enough resources to sustainably enjoy life. With an extended life, people could develop their intellectual, physical, and relational capabilities to the fullest. In a world of longer-lived individuals, would involve far less pollution, corruption, fraud, hierarchical oppression, destruction of other species, and short-term exploitation of other humans. Also, individuals would be more open to experimentation with new projects and ideas, since they would have more time to devote to such exploratory behaviors. And some disadvantages to life extension. The social effects of life extension technologies can radically change how we view marriage. In today's world, for example, a couple in their 60s who are stuck in a loveless but tolerable marriage might decide to stay together for the remaining 15 to 20 years of their lives out of inertia or familiarity. But if the same couple knew they might have to suffer each other's company for another 60 or 80 years, their choices might be different. As lifespans increase, there will be a shift in emphasis from marriage as a lifelong union to marriage as a long-term commitment. In the end, brief marriages would become more common in the future if life extension prevails. If multiple marriages become the society norm and each marriage produces children, then half-siblings will become more common as well. Also, if couples continue the current trend of having children in the beginning of their 20s and 30s, then 8 or even 10 generations might be alive simultaneously. Additionally, if life extension happens, it also increases a woman's period of fertility. So siblings would be normally 40 or 50 years apart, which is not normal in this day and age. This large age difference would completely change the way siblings or parents and their children interact with one another. Living longer would inevitably mean more time spent at work, which means that careers would necessarily become longer and their retirement age will have to be pushed back. And here are some ethical constraints when it comes to life extension. Extending a healthy human life is not only bad, it is in fact very good. Life and health are the fundamental human rights because they are the basic foundations for everything. People have tried to extend human life, but it hasn't worked. It isn't impossible, it's not going to be an easy task though. This research sells to people because who wouldn't want to extend their life? The experiment hasn't delivered anything. Life extension doesn't only mean curing aging, but it means that it cures everything from every disease to every ailment. If life extension does become a possibility in the future, who will be the ones to receive this treatment? Healthcare in our nation is already extraordinarily equitably accessible, so how will the government implicate a fair access to this remarkable revelation? Of course, there are going to be side effects when taking this newfound cure, which will make people less willing to take risks, when in reality, the society actually needs risk takers in order to grow. The potential for a society of long-lived persons to become increasingly static. Much change has happened because newer generations replace the old ones, but if life extension comes into play, it's a way of slowing or stopping the generation replacement. If life extension does prevail, it will lead to population growth. Good thing that excessive population growth is no longer a problem in most of the world. Even if humans manage to live radically longer or sustainably with the environment, our likelihood of death by natural causes will decrease, and our likelihood of death by unnatural causes, homicide and war, will proportionally increase. Here's my opinion on life extension. The marriage and family dynamics, I feel, will drastically change the society. Having the opportunity to be in multiple different marriages will change people's view on marriages, and I believe that it won't be beneficial for society. Thinking about it, families ever be the same after life extension is available. I'm just imagining that if my parents were able to extend their life, they could possibly have another child in 10 to 20 years, which means I would have a 29 to 39 year age gap between that sibling of mine, which is mind-blowing to me. I 100% believe that my family's dynamic would change significantly if my parents had a child in 10 to 20 years. Yes, this would be a downside to life extension, but it could be beneficial. With a longer life, you could accomplish much more. The possibilities are endless. I feel that this would make people more motivated to find more things that they love, and they could pursue it because they have the time to do so. I do think, though, that extending our life is unethical because things have to come to an end, and even though people don't want to die, it's inevitable. And this is my works cited page. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Bye!